Okay, guys. Haven't got much for you today. We've got a couple of things to mention, and then we'll get on to the video. And as usual, if anyone's got anything to ask or add, we'll provide an opportunity for that as well. Got some milestones for this week. We've got a couple of boundaries doing. Oh, we had one boundary do his first Division 1 game last weekend. That's Alex McKenzie. And Luke Simpson's going to be doing his first this week. 50th game in the goals, Andrew Barkell, and the 200th game on the boundary, Wayne Scarman. So no fieldies getting milestones this week, but there's a handful of other milestones to mention. I think most of you who were at training last week realised, or we announced that Umpires Association are going to be providing cheap drinks for after training each week on Wednesday nights from here on in. $5 for a beer and $2 for soft drinks. So,
Colin, just one thing. This Wednesday, it's the Schnitty night at the Britannia.
Ah, thanks, mate.
Yep.
Thanks for reminding me. So no drinks this week, but there is the schnitzel at what's the
Britannia Hotel.
Yeah. So no one has to book in for that, Gory. Just come along.
Right, come along. $15, I think it is, for the Schnitty.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right. I will change my coaching notes to remind everyone of that. And we had a good turnout last year. So, yeah, it'd be good to see as many of you come along to that night as possible. Had been contacted by the Adelaide Sports Institute, which is organising umpires for school footy during the week. I'll send the link if you want to put your name down for that. They're looking for a few extra umpires for their books. And I also got contacted from a guy called Michael Gurr, who's an umpire that used to be down here in Adelaide, but he's in Port Lincoln at the moment. And he just expressed or invited anyone that's heading to Port Lincoln during the season to get in touch with him. And he would like to have some visiting umpires umpire their games. Obviously, they're always looking for extra numbers, but I think they also really recognise the value of having someone with a bit of experience umpiring there, because Rob Kane went recently and spoke very highly of Rob and his efforts up there. So, yeah, if you are interested in going up to Port Lincoln during the season, get in touch with Michael and have a run up there. All right, that is all I've got. I've got no real big issues to discuss. We can get onto the coaching video shortly, but if anyone would like to ask any questions, just no mention of the Crows. That's the rule of this little segment.
I'm sorry about that, Colin, but yeah, it's a bit of bad luck.
Yeah. Well, that's funny.
I got one, Colin.
Yeah, mate, far away.
Protected zone behind the mark. Do we enforce that at all?
Yes, only if they affect the play. So it's 10 metres either side of the line between the player on the mark and the player with the ball, and then a 5 metre radius behind. So, yeah, the moment someone's got a mark or free kick, you need to be clearing that protected zone. And if they don't get out of that area and they impact on play, there's a good example on the interpretations video that Rob Kane paid a free kick in one of the grand finals last year. So you can go and have a look at that. So, yeah, behind the player with the ball is still part of the protected zone. Again,
no, other way, behind the person on the mark.
Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood your question. So you're thinking back to there was a 50 paid by Brett Roseby in an AFL game a week ago.
That's exactly
really
what I was thinking
interesting scenario. That is purely in relation to the stand rule, which we don't have. So Brett rightfully penalised. Was it the Richmond player? I can't remember.
It was a lever, yeah.
Yeah. Because the stand rule is once you've either got the choice of standing on the mark and standing still, or going 5 metres behind the mark, and you can't be doing what that player did and come behind the mark and be moving. So it was it was a purely an AFL or a stand rule decision. not relevant to us. Really, what we're looking for in that scenario is that there's not two players on the mark. So you can have one player behind the mark doing what that Richmond player did and everything's fine, but you don't want two players standing on the mark. That becomes a problem. But if you're communicating properly and telling them to only one on the mark and others stay behind, then you shouldn't have a problem. Does that make sense?
Yep, makes sense. Cool.
Yeah, that was a bit of a interesting scenario, but yeah, not relevant to us. Anyone else?
Colin, stop it, and you run backwards, and you the players here, and you're up flat on your back.
So, Makeda,
Is it a penalty to the player who?
I'm going to mute you, Makeda. So I'm going to have to get you to come and have a chat to me at training about that. I heard about every third word, then your internet connection's not good enough to be able to understand what you were saying. Sorry. It's all right. We'll have a chat to me on Wednesday about whatever you were wanting to discuss then. Anyone else? Rob, did you want to, Rob Kane? I think I saw you online there.
Howdy, yep.
You want to tell the guys about our discussion?
Yeah, about the dangerous tackle.
Yeah.
Sure. I got my hands full, by the way.
Oh, how cute. How cute.
Yeah, so there was what I interpreted to be a dangerous tackle on Saturday. It was with Simon and Matt Harris and
in the three umpire system for the
three umpire system.
Yep.
Yeah, and Bob's your uncle, there were two different, I guess, interpretations. But my call would have been to protect the ball player. So it looked like a bit of a dangerous tackle. The player was sort of slung around, wasn't injured, and Tony Pater holding the ball, which is fine. That's an interpretation. But perhaps in future, I suppose the call would be to overrule and make the player's safety number one. Would that be about right, Cole?
Yeah, so Rob got me to have a look at the vision, and I probably went with Simo. I didn't think it was a dangerous tackle, or that just because you're taking a player to ground doesn't make it automatically a dangerous tackle. Having said that, I can kind of see what Rob was thinking, was that there was somewhat a slinging motion, and if you believe it was a sling, then that's a dangerous tackle. But my advice to Rob was, if he was in that situation again, so he was the umpire number 2, and he sees an umpire play holding the ball or a different decision, and he believes it's a dangerous tackle, then I would be expecting Rob or the umpire number 2 to come and overrule. So even if it goes slightly overboard and pays a dangerous tackle, which others wouldn't pay, player safety is paramount. That's our number one focus. And if we pay a soft, dangerous tackle, no one's going to lose any sleep. And it's better that we get the dangerous tackles than we don't. We don't have to be silly about it. But if you're in your mind that you've got a concern about a tackle, and look, the Broadview players were asking for that dangerous tackle, weren't they? So, you know, there was enough in the tackle to worry you and others about it. Certainly wasn't anything more than a free kick. But
No.
My instruction would be to everyone, if you're in that situation as Rob, as number 2, just go and overrule. And if you're Simo, who, like I was totally comfortable with his decision, but you just suck it up. And player safety is the number one priority and responsibility for us. So that sums up our discussion.
Yep.
I went looking for it today. I couldn't find that footage, but anyway.
74-minute mark. That's right.
Okay. Anyone want to go have a look? Go for it. But yeah, the basic principles of where we go. We don't want overruling for most free kicks, but for high tackles and any free kicks that player safety is an issue, such as dangerous tackles, overruling is fine. And if you're getting overruled, don't take it to heart. And yes, Matt Harris has just said that he backed Simo on the day. So I guess what Matt says is right, but in Matt's opinion. But
No, come on. I was more just saying it was one of those ones where 2/3 of us thought it was.
Yeah.
Rob saw something slightly different.
Yeah. And,
So
and looking at it, I can see what Rob was looking at.
Yeah.
These dangerous tackles are hard. They're really difficult. And look, it wasn't just Rob that thought it. The Broadview players and I think the coach were looking for it as
They
well.
were looking for anything though, so
Yeah, I get that. But again, if we're erring on the side of player safety and playing a free kick that we believe is a dangerous tackle, no one's going to lose any sleep. And it was nothing more than a free kick. But
No,
these dangerous tackles, as with a number of rules in our game, they're not always black and white. We had a couple of really good examples of dangerous tackles that needed to be red carded on the weekend that were. Well, one was yellow carded and upgraded to red. But, we had Nathan Horn out in Anglevale for a women's game, took some strong action and red carded, and Andrew Story in a Century United game, yellow card, and then rang me after the game to say he wanted to upgrade it. It's good that we're standing up and being counter when it really needs to be. But for some of these ones, like the one in the game on the weekend, where is it a legitimate tackle or is it a dangerous tackle? That they can be difficult. But if we're in the side of play safety, no one's going to lose any sleep. All right.
Carl, can I say something on that one?
Sure, mate.
Yeah, I was extremely confident with my decision there and that it wasn't a dangerous tackle. The player, I know we don't just solely go on whether the player's hurt or not. He wasn't, but that wasn't my reason for not paying it. My reason for paying the holding the ball, he took the tackler on for a start. He had arms free to handball, didn't get rid of it, and then was tackled and went taken to ground. But I had a great view on that, different view to Rob Kane, and that's why I didn't pay it. So
Simon, as I said, when I saw it on video, and obviously Matt we thought it was legit tackle, but my advice to you would be, in future, in that scenario, I'd be wanting Rob, if in his mind it's a dangerous tackle, to come and rule you. And if that happens to you, suck it up. And
I don't have a problem with it.
Don't take offence to it.
I would not have one little bit if Rob had wanted to come in. If he saw enough of it that he thought it was, that would have been fine. I would have backed away. Not a problem.
So no one's been critical of you here at all, Simon. No one at all. But
I have actually looked at it about 5 times, and I'm even more confident with that it's no dangerous tackle there.
Yeah, sure. No stress, mate. No stress.
And it's funny you say that, Simon, because I've looked at it a couple of times and thought it's still a dangerous tackle, and I'd still pay it any day of the week.
Well, I disagree with you, Rob, but that's all right. Not a problem,
yeah,
mate.
and that's okay.
That's the beauty of umpiring, isn't it?
It is highlighting the challenge in our game, but the basic philosophy is, if we're going to err on the side of the ball player and protect them, then we're going to be better off in the long run. So I'm happy with the decision, but also happy for Rob to do or the only thing I'm say to Rob that he needs to change his mind is next time go and overrule if you've got the concern.
I was a fair way off, but yeah, that's all right.
Let's move on. Okay, we've got the coaching video. So hopefully you've all had a bit of a chance to have a look. There's no watch your decisions on this one. This is just a straight video on react to what happened. So I'll let it run. The basic messages here is don't go looking for free kicks. React to what happens. We've got some, and if anyone has any questions on this, just interrupt as you go along and I'll stop it. But react to what you see, not what you think you saw. So we've got some last possession examples here. Clear handball. So clear handball or kick where we want a free kick. So clear handball. Once you see that, you now should be running in to set the mark for a free kick. This one here, letting the play go until there's a kick off the ground. Again, free kick for, he's intentionally kicked that off the ground. It's just rolled out with being touched. And another last possession kick kick off the ground and free kick. So just let it unfold. React to the obvious. So any questions or comments on any of those? No, pretty obvious. That's what it's meant to be. Must err on the side of the ball player when in doubt. So in this case here, a throw-in is demanded by the umpire, which is Dale, because it's accidentally come off the legs. And similarly with the next example, it's not a deliberate kick here. It just comes off the leg. It's just actually pushed onto the leg. So in that instance there, any doubt, we just get the boundary umpire to throw it in. You're going to get a lot of junior umpires, especially in the women's footy, and it's a field umpire's call. So a message we keep saying, only react to the obvious and blatant. This one here, just good contest for the ball. Don't need to go looking for free kicks, and then when the free kick is obvious and blatant, it hits you in the face, where there's had a pro opportunity, tackled, ball feels free, clear holding the ball, and there's a need to get in there. So Stefan taps Matt through. So on here, legal tackles, nothing obvious until, again, pro opportunity, legal tackle, ball spills free. And you just wait for those free kicks to hit you in the face. The obvious and blatant ones, if you're in the right position, will just be there for you to see as long as you're in the right position. Hold the whistle and let the play unfold. This one here, marking contest, both going for the ball. There's no contact, which causes they've been making interference. Lets the play go. Looks like he might have dragged it in. Just delays the whistle enough for it to come out. Just let it go. Really good umpiring by Cameron Scott. And similarly here, Chris Lambert's in control here. Looks like there's going to be a hole in the ball, but he taps the ball out as we're asking for. Just lets the play unfold. So some of these ones, you're just going to hold the whistle and see what happens. And then when the ball is held in lock at the end, then you call the ball up. Don't go looking for free kicks. Wait until you see something blatant. So this one here is an interesting one. Ducks into it, fends off it, and then is tackled and doesn't handle or kick. So Paul Smith is really good umpire, just letting it go. Just waits for that obvious one here. Is Adam Forster. Just wait to see if the ball's going to get knocked out, gives him a chance, and obviously it's not. The ball's being dragged in and pays the free kick at the right time. So a lot of this is just about knowing when to blow your whistle. So letting the play unfold, nothing obvious. And then the player is on the ground, grabs hold of it, causes the stoppage and rightfully penalised. You've got to be able to see the footy, so keep moving until you can see it. In this case here, the ball hits the ground. It's not a mark. And he's just happy to sit on it. And causes the ball up, so he's rightfully penalised. But you've got to be in a position to see that ball hit the ground. And don't switch off. The whole game, anything can happen. Stay focused. In this case here, ball's gone through for a goal. You get it all clear. You're aware of what's happening around you. Really, your responsibility as end zone umpire, once you're given the all clear, is to see that if there's any players that might be remonstrating with each other like they are, get in there, control it. And in that case, you've got Cameron Scott in the goal square and Cameron McLeod, who's looking at the other group of players, working together to control the situation. And the last message of the coaching video, so you think about being proactive with your positioning, running hard, anticipating, and letting the decision-making be reactive. So that's our coaching video for tonight. Any questions, comments on any of that?
The only thing, one I've got, Colin, is the one where he went for the mark and it bounced.
Yep.
I thought that was probably a bit quick. I think he was going for the mark and it bounced and the player just jumped on him. So your call was definitely holding the ball, but when I saw it, I just presumed that the call would have been a bounce. I didn't think he had any prior.
So no prior, but even though you don't have a prior, you've got to make a genuine attempt.
Yeah,
So
I'm saying that I don't think he did. I think he got pounced on straight away.
So even though he's got pounced on and getting tackled, he's got to be trying to knock it clear. And if he's just lying on it, sure, perhaps the only thing with that one, you could have let it go a little longer just to see if it comes out.
He's actually making a genuine attempt.
Don't be too quick just to say, I'll just ball it up in that situation. You want to see him make a genuine attempt. And then if he's not, ping him. If you think he's trying to get it out and he hasn't got a genuine attempt, then by all means.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Anyone else? All right. I knew this one would be a bit of a short Zoom, not too much to go through. Anyone else want to bring anything up before we wind up? Geez, I can see Andre's online. Andre, we've missed you. You always come in to say something. Give us something, mate. I would have thought.
G'day, guys.
Yeah, here he is.
Chasing kids. Hello all. Yeah, it was something from last week, actually. It was a couple of interesting ones. Portland down at Hectorville. They were quite short of numbers. It was a B grade game. I just wanted some verifications with it. I did talk to Pete Angel about it, and he wasn't too sure himself, to be honest. Where they started with 16, and there was one coming on the way. So obviously, the Hectorville had to start with that same number, and if a player was injured and start of each quarter, or the end or the start of each quarter, then the other team has to balance that out. So how far do we go down? Like, what about these 4 or 5 injuries at 3/4 time, and then there's only 11 players? So me and the other umpire was sort of a bit perplexed by.
So as was outlined in the John Kernahan's update a couple of weeks ago, the even up rule is there for all games except for A grade men's. So B grade men's, C grade men's, any women's game, if it drops below the numbers, then the teams have to even up. If as you said, if it happens during a quarter, at the end of the quarter, it evens up. Once it gets below, I'll have to get clarification on Pete on this. I believe it's under 14. Once it goes to 13, then technically the team should be forfeiting. However, I mean, they're there to play footy, and if both teams want to continue, I would just be noting it and then letting the league know during the week.
Okay, but so even, for example, if it goes down to 12, the opposition has to obviously balance that out to 12 as well.
Do you know what I've been doing in that situation? Getting on the phone to Pete or me and then getting some clarification. It's unusual. It doesn't happen too often in that instance. My understanding is that once it drops below 14, then it's a forfeit. But as I said, they're all there to play footy. And if we can let a game go and proceed to the end, and then let us know during the week where we can determine anything that comes from that.
Sure. And another one, also the same game. Obviously, the Portland coach, reserves coach, was very frustrated, lack of numbers, etc. And he and there was a little bit of a fight going on, a little melee. Controlled it quite well, separated everyone. Anyway, he comes up to me. He goes, "Look, if you don't control the situation, I'm going to just get all my guys and we're going to walk off." Mind you, they were about 20 goals down at that time. So what do you do in a situation if you get threatened like that?
Well, if they choose to forfeit the game, then so be it. There's nothing more you can do about that. So.
Okay. It was,
I mean, if their concern was that you weren't controlling the game well enough, you can just reassure them that you're out there doing your best to to do
Oh,
that.
absolutely. I
If
was
you've got player
diplomatic with that.
safety concerns and you want to walk off and play no further part in the game, that's your choice. But we're here to do the best we can. And if they take that action, then obviously get on the phone and let us know about it. And I haven't heard of that happening before, but yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's actually the first time I've done it, but I'm sure it's happened again. Now, another thing, sorry, I'll wrap this up.
That's why I called out to you, mate. I saw you online. I was like, we've missed Andre. And mate, I also wanted to bring you on so we could just acknowledge the whistleblower from last week, because that was sensational.
What was that?
You haven't seen the whistleblower from last week?
There was some photos of
There
me.
was a lookalike, but you might need to go back and have a look at that. It's all right, mate. I was just having a chuckle at your expense.
Oh, okay. I did get a hard time from a few people on the social media about that. So
Yeah, no, all good, mate. And what was the other query?
Paparazzi. Well, I think you were talking about earlier about the reverse when another umpire probably sees something that you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the women's game that I did on Saturday, now evidently this umpire had a reputation of making decisions when they're not on play. And so in the first quarter, this umpire did that. And I was like 3 meters away from it. It was quite obvious to me there was nothing really too high from it. He was 60 meters away, and he called a too high tackle. And, you want to be diplomatic. You don't want to start fighting with an umpire during the quarter. But, I made the point of view at quarter time saying, look, I had a good view of it. I wasn't blocked. There was no reason for you to contradict that decision, etc. And I did hear that he would, he's trigger happy a little bit. But to be quite honest, we handled it at quarter time, and then it was quite consistent from there that time on. So do you have any advice where you could maybe handle that during the actual play?
My advice would be if they're paying high tackles and they can see it, and perhaps you're not on an angle too, or you just thank them for paying a free kick that you're unsided with.
I get that, obviously.
If you have a concern that an umpire is unnecessarily paying free kicks, then contact me during the week. But really, the basic rule is for any umpire, overruling with a high tackle or player safety issue is what we want. So I won't be taking offence to it. Even if you don't think it's there, a high tackle is, no one's going to lose any sleep over a high tackle free kick being paid.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's
only when we don't pay it that people start getting upset.
Exactly, but yeah, but anyway, yeah, we handled it correctly. But I was just saying where the other umpires, how they handle that situations when they feel there could be inconsistency between the two umpires, because that's what you don't want. I mean, we can be two bad umpires, but as long as we're consistently bad. So yeah. I wouldn't have potential. Oh mate, I've just seen who you're umpiring with. So he's a guy that doesn't come to training too much, a bit inexperienced. It probably potentially could be paying some softish free kicks. I wouldn't be making an issue of it during the game. Maybe just call me during the week and have a chat about it. Yeah. But evidently I did hear around the traps, I guess I'm sort of, I'm probably in the scene, a lot of people do know me and all that. And he kind of does have a bit of a reputation of making decisions when he's, long distance away.
So that's up to me to deal with that during the week. So
anyway,
give us a call.
All right. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Mr. 5AA, I see your hands up.
Yeah. You mentioned Nathan Horn's dangerous tackle before on Saturday morning at a women's game.
Yeah.
Just the way it was handled was outstanding. And the confidence that he had in making that decision early and quickly. But also what I was really impressed with was, and I know we don't have to do this, but the club probably could have dealt with it better in regards to sending the player back on. The girl came straight back off, but Nathan was straight away over there checking up on the girl's well-being, which we thought was outstanding. And I think that made a massive difference in how the club and the trainers dealt with that young lady in the end. So Nathan, well done, mate. I was very impressed.
No, well done. He's had 2 dangerous tackles in 2 weeks and dealt with them well both times. So yeah, good call, mate.
Cole, one question.
Yep.
With the runners, I noticed Matt wasn't starting the game till they were completely off the field. Is that the way we're doing it this year?
It was the water boys, not the runners.
The water boys, sorry. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, righto.
After a goal and stuff. That was your instruction. That was the
The
instruction.
instruction to clubs is to only be coming on at the goal breaks. I wouldn't be getting too fussed about waiting for them to get off to get the game going. It probably doesn't matter quite so much in an A grade game, but for other games where you don't have time on, seems like if they're heading off, then that's fine. And if they're not, just have a chat to them. It's not a huge priority. Like we're over the COVID
Cool.
era. If you think clubs are just sending out water carriers willy-nilly, then maybe just let me know. We can deal with it during the week. But yeah, I appreciate that you're trying to do the right thing, Matt, but it's probably one thing that I wouldn't be too concerned about and focus on other things.
Yeah, just on that same subject, I did have a runner on Saturday coming over to me asking if he could give out water. So can I have clarity on that? So the runners cannot give out water?
No, mate, if you go back, have a look at your emails, go have a look at John Kernahan's update in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Right,
all
okay.
Yeah.
So that's good. Thanks.
Now, Ben, did you see your hand go up? You wanted to say something or accidentally hit the button?
Press the wrong button.
All good, mate. No worries. All right. Before Andre comes back and asks another question, I reckon we're going to wind up the Zoom. Good to have you back, mate. All right. Remember, we've got Schnitzel night Wednesday night. Look forward to seeing you all there, and look forward to another big round of footy this weekend.